Hello, Aries. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Star Tarot by Kathy McLeland. There's Kathy's website if you would like to look it up. Feel free to freeze frame if you need to, of course. Supportive Oracle cards. Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish. Illustrated by Jesse Reish. There is a website that I found in the back of the book here. Down over here on my coffee stained book. I think it's coffee anyway. hayhouse.com. I do believe Hay House is still around. It's a 2002 publication or print or whatever you want to call it. But Hay House is still going. I'm pretty sure Lucy has a bunch of other decks. My brain is just not clicking in. Fades in and out. I don't know what to tell you. Because every now and then somebody will give me the answer and I'll be like, aha, I'll remember that. Apparently not. So thank you for anybody who's given me the answers, by the way. What do we have for Aries? The Tower card showed up again. Oh my god. Was it like every reading so far? Jeez. It's not bad. Well, the Tower hasn't been bad for most people. Is the Tower... For Aries, it's coming up in like what's working right for you. I don't know if you're going to see it that way at first. The Tower comes in with the Study, which there's a shocking change. It's uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable. This one is definitely uncomfortable, but I don't think at first you're going to see it as a good thing. I feel like it's kind of like, what's going on here? They're saying pull back when this starts happening. Something's going to shock you. And you're going to have your initial reactions, yeah. But as it progresses on in the following hours, maybe a couple days, kind of pull back and regroup with yourself and like really kind of think about like what's happening here. Because whatever's going on, I don't think you're in the power position to make changes. And I feel like once you see it that way, you're like, all right, this is what's happening. It's not in my control. Where will I be when it's done? I feel like that's where we have to go. Where will I be when this is done? When everything is fallen all over the place and the towers and crumbles all over the place, where am I going to be? What can I then, salvage from this? And do I want to salvage? That's one of the things with the Tower. Once it's knocked over, it's kind of like if you were living in that tower, you're not going to be living in it anymore. Do you want to rebuild something here, or is this kind of like, well, I guess that was the last day, time to go, and I'll go somewhere else. Try to resist reacting right away. Like it's kind of like a strength of Aries to like either do or don't. And they're saying in this situation, once it starts falling, stand back and let it finish falling, and don't do anything until it's finished. Because this is kind of like the Knight of Wands is showing up as your challenge to not go in there and try to fix it. Let it finish falling. Take it with a grain of salt. It's a general read, but they're saying let it finish falling. Just let it, like, sometimes people don't realize they're working on the Tower, if that makes sense. They're trying to fix something as it's still imploding. Let it finish. I don't think this is going to be a situation where you can kind of like salvage certain things better, or like I feel like they're saying let it finish, and once it's finished you can figure out what's actually there and what you want, or if you want to just be like gotta go. You know a lot about what's already going on here, especially when you step back and you're like watching this fall down and you're like, yep, I knew that one over there and this over there, and I knew that wasn't right, and I said something and nobody listened to me. So you know a lot about this. Kind of like, or it could be like that person did that and I told people to watch out for that. There it goes. Step back. You did what you could with it. Let other people work through the information like they need to. This might be one of those moments where the situation's imploding. You might have warned people, like, I don't like this, I don't think that's right, and this should be over here. And people are like, Aries, we're fine, Aries. And you're like, all right. And now they need to see, like, okay, they don't want to listen, then this is what they get. And just because you told them about that, they didn't want to listen to you, so you're not feeling obligated to help them fix it. Because maybe that might be part of this. Kind of like, I told you this was going to happen, and now that it has, it's not my fault. It's your fault for not listening. You clean up your own mess. I'm going to go away. It may be that. You may be like, I'm not going to help you clean up that mess. I told you this was going to happen. You didn't want to fix it, so you can clean it up. Yeah, I think that this might be one of those things why this might be why they're saying don't go in there to help them fix it right away. Maybe they need to, like, sometimes that's the most effective lesson. I've done it myself a few times. I have the school of hard knocks. I do that where, you learn things the hard way, and then when you're picking it up and you're cleaning it up, you're like, well, not going to do that again. I feel like Aries can relate to that. I think you've done it too. That you can look back in your life and go, yep, I had to learn the hard way, but once I didn't do that again. Maybe that's the gift you're giving this person or whoever this is. Kind of like, hey, you can clean up that mess. You're not going to like it. I didn't like it either, but you're going to remember. So there you go. It's not even mean, in my opinion. It's just kind of like it's an effective lesson to let them clean up their own mess, especially if you tried to help them beforehand so they didn't have to have that mess, but they didn't want to listen. There's this danger of avoidance. Especially if you go in and you start picking it up for them, I see like them going on to something else. They will be going on to something else either way, but it's kind of like if they go in this way with you picking up the pieces, which I almost feel like Aries, the reason you would do that is kind of like, I have other things to do. I just want it out of my way. I don't want to deal with it anymore, so I'm just going to pick it up, clean it up, and move it out of the way. So the reason I feel like you would clean it up is just kind of like, I don't want to deal with it anymore. So I'll just clean it up to get rid of it. It's not serving the situation the best. The reason you might not is because it's not your mess and you shouldn't have to anyway. Making them clean up their own mess, it goes this way, which I see there's better energy coming out of this. Kind of like they're going to like cleaning that up. And they will remember and they will make better choices going forward. This is really important that whoever this is, cleans up their own mess. It seems to be bringing something to a close either way. Is your energy? No. What is coming to a close here? You're not going to deal with this problem again. You might be continually connected with the person who could have fixed it but didn't. But the actual problem, I feel you're kind of like, all right, the tower fell down. I'm moving. I'm moving. I'm going somewhere else. You can rebuild that. Whatever knocks your socks off. I'm not living in that tower again. I'm good. Thanks. Got other places to go. So it could be a job thing. For some of you, I do feel like a family connection. Almost like there's maybe a gathering that happens annually. And it's kind of like there's a few different gatherings that happen at the same time, and you're just like, that one, I'm just not going to be a part of that one anymore. I've seen people do that before. Kind of like the families have like 3 or 4 things that happen around the holidays, and you're just kind of like, you know what? Not going to Aunt Susie's anymore. Just things don't work out well there. I'm just not going to do it. Sorry, I'm just not going. And you just stop going to a certain event, and other people do what they have to do. I've seen that happen a few times, actually. It's just kind of like, you know what, I don't enjoy it. It's not fun, and it becomes a mess. Like, this isn't what the holiday should be about, so I'm not going to go. You're making a transition forward. This seems to be quite easy. Because when you're moving on from this situation, something else comes in. It's kind of like that situation, lesson learned, wherever you were connected to it, we've completed that connection. This other person who you tried to help, if they learned their lesson or not, you've done your best with it. I feel like I'm kind of like, listen, I tried to help you. I hope you learned your lesson. If you did, great. If you didn't, not my fault, not my problem, moving on. Even if it's like a child. Like, I know some people, like, especially if you have adult children and you try to help them, it's kind of like, listen, I can't be here for the carnage anymore. I hope you learned your lesson. If you didn't, it's on you. Sorry, I'm not going to be here to bail you out anymore. I'm not going to do it. Sometimes you have to do that. And sometimes when people like don't have that safety blanket to back up on, to go, that's when they really start to pay attention to the decisions they're making. Because there is healing coming here, and I feel you completely disconnecting. Like, all right, this last time, that was the last time. That the death card is here. Like, this last time, yeah, no, really, this was the last time. Examples of this is like moving to another location, cutting certain people out of your life if you feel necessary. I've done that. When you're just like, listen, it's been year after year after year, and it just always has this problem. No. Just no. Just no. And it's not like, I don't see like any big like chip, or what would you call that? There's not like a big block. It's just like, I'm just not going to go. I'm just not going to show up. Like, we're fine. If I end up seeing you somewhere, we're cool. I don't have a problem with you. I'm just not going to that event where you're going to be because you're a problem. It's kind of like that's what you're saying to this situation. Kind of like, if I see this person around, we're cool, we're fine. If you happen to end up at the same event, cool, fine. But I'm just specifically not going to this event that maybe they're in charge of. You're like, I'm just not going to that. That's all. I'm just not going to participate in this situation. If we happen to see each other, cool, great. If we don't, even better. But I'm not holding a grudge. I'm just not going to go out of my way to help somebody that I don't really care for and that I'm sick of being a part of this mess. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense with that. Because you're like, this last time, this is that was it. That was it. Whatever the problem was, I feel like it's been a long time coming. I feel like when you're looking at it, you're like, I thought it would, I don't know. I feel like I felt obligated to be a part of it this last time, but when this last time it fell apart, it's kind of like, that's enough. And then I'm holding my ground, and I'm just like, I'm just not going to be a part of it. Can Aries fight? Easily, if you want to. Aries can also be like, you know what, that battle just never, there's no win. There's no win. I'm not going to do it. Aries does not show up to a battle to just go, oh, it's a tie. No. If Aries shows up to a battle, it's because they're going to win. They don't show up to a battle going, oh, it's going to be a stalemate. Okay. No, that's not Aries. You're like, nobody wins in this situation. I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm done. I'm not going to waste my time with it. Aries puts their energy towards something to make an achievement. Not to just be like, yeah, I did my diligence. I was there. Why? I don't think so. Anything else? You're going to replace, if this is an event, just to be fair, you're going to replace it with something else. It seems to be the easiest way to move on from the energy. When that energy moves on, like you're like, I'm done with it, you are going to put something else in its place. Kind of like, listen, it's kind of like when you uproot a tree. You're like, I'm going to get rid of that tree, and then I'm going to put a shed or something there so it can't grow there now. Like, nothing can grow there now. I'm putting something in its place so that it can't be there now, in case that makes. Because something else is going to take its place. It's not going to show up for a little while, but something else will take its place that you'll actually like. So it doesn't seem like it's going to show up in 5 minutes, but it will show up by time that would have come around anyway. You will have filled that spot with something better that you actually like. Anything else? All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.